West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
Love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk
7 a.m.
710
in a Mile High City on this
KNUS.
Friday, August 8th, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Coming up here in just a moment, we're going to talk with the Assistant Minority Leader down at the Colorado House of Representatives, Ty Winter. Republicans responding to Jared Polis's effort to host a special session because that effort to host a special legislative session to address our budget problems, what happens during the Colorado State Fair? They write one of the most meaningful events for rural communities across our state. And as Barb Kirkmeyer pointed out on our show yesterday, this budget crisis can be addressed entirely by just Jared Polis making cuts. It's happened before. When Colorado faced a budget crisis following 9/11, Bill Owens went in and made cuts across the board. John Hickenlooper has done it as well, Barb Kirkmeyer noted. So Jared Polis could just make cuts to the spending that the state is engaging in. Instead, he's going to host a special session, pull everybody in, and lawmakers, particularly from rural districts, are frustrated that this week that they're going to be doing this is going to interrupt what's one of the most important parts of their economy, important moments, family time together, all of that. Why won't Jared Polis just step up and actually lead the state? We'll talk with Ty Winter in just a few minutes. Now it's time, though, for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
TGIF. Good morning. 72, mostly cloudy. Beautiful out there, though. Expecting a high of 96 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, two fast-growing wildfires on the western slope near Meeker have now burned more than 73,000 acres with zero containment. Christy Davis, a technician with the CSU Climate Center.
I couldn't feel the heat, but I've never seen smoke billow like that or been close enough. And then getting to see all of the flames the next day was really, really eye-opening and sad.
The Lee Fire has scorched nearly 59,000 acres, and the Elk Fire over 14,000. Crews are working around the clock as both fires forced evacuations and threatening homes, land, and air quality. Governor Polis has called in the National Guard to help. DJT ordering federal law enforcement officers to patrol the streets of D.C. It'll start as a week-long operation but can be extended as needed and includes officers from the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, and ICE agents. The FBI has fired 3 people, Acting Director Brian Driscoll, Special Agent Walter Giardina, who unlawfully hunted down Peter Navarro. He went to prison. And a Washington field officer, Chief Steve Jensen. And FBI whistleblower Kyle Seraphin says the pilot flying Kash Patel in his jet actually helped lead the Mar-a-Lago raid. That is crazy to me. They have to keep draining the swamp somehow. Just nuts. The UK is condemning Israel's planned military takeover of the Gaza Strip. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer criticized Israel's plan this morning and said it'll only bring more bloodshed to the Palestinians. China is also speaking out against the plan and is calling on Israel to immediately cease its dangerous actions. 47 says Vladimir Putin wants to meet with him. He said both Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky wish to meet with DJT ahead of the Friday deadline that he gave Russia to begin ceasefire talks. The Trump administration wants to eliminate a policy that prevents customs and border protection from holding immigrant children for long periods of time. A judge in L.A. will hear arguments today from the federal government about why it's no longer needed. Pam Bondi and the DOJ with a big announcement.
Today, the Department of Justice and State Department are announcing a historic $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly drugs and violence into our country.
The government has seized 30 tons of cocaine linked to Maduro, a lot of it laced with fentanyl, responsible for hundreds of thousands of American lives, of course. The man accused of attempting to assassinate DJT heads to court today for a pretrial conference in Florida. Ryan Ruth is representing himself. The Israeli Security Cabinet has signed off on a full military takeover of the Gaza Strip. Netanyahu's office says a majority of his security cabinet backed his proposal early this morning, as we talked about earlier, to begin the gradual military takeover of the territory. Blake Sifton.
Gaza City is believed to be home to 800,000 Palestinians, and the plan would likely involve their mass evacuation to the south amid a starvation crisis already underway in the Strip.
All right, the Broncos in Santa Clara for a joint practice with the Niners. They kick off the preseason tomorrow night against Kyle Shanahan's squad. Rockies in Phoenix tonight, and a fourth sex toy was thrown onto the court, a WNBA court, last night. And it will continue if they keep on making a huge deal out of it. We'll see. Got to have cameras all over the place for that, but don't want anyone to slip and fall, injure themselves, no question. 95 in Aurora, 94 in Lakewood, 96 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Your KNUS forecast for the Denver metro area calls for a very warm summer morning this Friday. Temperatures upper 60s and low 70s. And we're going to be looking at, again, a hot summer day. Some increasing afternoon clouds, though, will help a little bit. High temps, though, approaching 100 degrees. Nighttime lows mid-60s. Mid to upper 80s Saturday, near 80 Sunday.
Weather is a service of L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L.
I'm meteorologist Mark Huer in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Facing a $1.2 billion budget deficit. Jared Polis blaming Republicans in Washington, D.C. You lowered the taxes, now we don't have as much money coming in. So he's got to host a special session. Now, reminder, yesterday, Barb Kirkmeyer, state senator, chief Republican on the Joint Budget Committee, joined us and said he doesn't have to do this. When Colorado's faced budget crisis in the past, the governor, who can lead, just makes decisions, goes in and addresses these different divisions and says, hey, we got to make cuts here, here, here. Bill Owens did it, no problem whatsoever. But Jared Polis doesn't seem to want to take on that leadership mantra and instead is calling for a special session. Well, this special session is being called during the Colorado State Fair, one of the most meaningful events for rural communities across the state, says House Republicans. Well, joining us to provide some perspective, Ty Winner, Assistant Minority Leader in the Colorado House of Representatives. Representative, thank you for joining the Jeff and Bill Show this morning.
Yes, thank you.
Anytime, and good morning, fellas. It's always good to be on.
All right, well, you guys aren't happy, and I don't blame you. The Colorado State Fair is an important economic driver. It's important to the rural community. I've been down there a number of times. Young boys and girls bringing in their livestock that they've been working all year to raise, to auction off, to make some money for college. All that stuff's going to happen, and you're not going to have lawmakers down there because they're going to be in the state capitol here in Denver, and this isn't right. Your thoughts, sir?
First and foremost, I want to say Senator Kirkmeyer is 100% correct. There's a lot of things the governor could do to make this problem better. There was a lot that we mentioned during session last year. We asked him to cut budgets 2% across the board for every department, which would have been, I think, around $870 million savings. Of course, all the money we've spent on everything that isn't a priority in this state, so I'm not going to get into that. But you're correct. Rural Republicans are really upset. And what people don't realize is the state fair is a time for the people of rural Colorado to come and see their brethren in the city and show them how they grow their food, they heat their homes, what technology they're using. And then it's also a time that we try to bridge the rural-urban divide. Because what we're finding is we talk to people from the inner city and they actually come and see our way of life. They realize that there is a different way of life. So I think making that disconnect is huge. Centennial Farms is that Friday. That is the time that we go celebrate farms and ranches that are at least 100 years old. You tell me what celebration the governor or the Democrats wouldn't attend on something that's that important to us if it was that important to them. So, and then Pueblo. What about the Pueblo business that provides the meal for the legislative barbecue? Pueblo's not a huge town. I'm sure that's a huge hit on their business if they have to cut plates out of that, so hitting the economy. So, it's unfortunate. We've been talking about a special session since May. But who knows why we did this? Who knows what schedule it was going to conflict with who? It's just unfortunate that once again it's balanced on the back of rural Colorado.
That's Ty Winter. Ty Winter is the Assistant Minority Leader, House of Representatives here in Colorado. I want to get you to respond to the Colorado Democrats who say, look, it's the Republicans. They blew $1 billion hole in the budget. Don't want to fix the mess they made. If they really cared about rural Colorado, Ty Winter, why did they vote to gut rural hospitals, cut ag extension fundings, and food assistance to bail out billionaires who don't care about rural Colorado? And then Shad, the chairman of the Democrats, saying, if you really cared about rural Colorado, you'd get into these meetings in Denver and fix this problem. Your response, sir?
Well, first and foremost, there was going to be a special session called no matter what. It's just very convenient when it is. And my response to them is what they need to do is they need to take responsibility themselves. The state's budget's doubled in the last 10 years. Who's been in control? They constantly thumb their nose at the administration and then mad that the administration's tapping them on the nose. And it's just ridiculous and unfortunate that they even combat that, because it goes to show how disconnected they are with rural Colorado to even think. And I have no problem going to do the work. You guys have been around me. I'm one of the first to be in the building and one of the last to leave. And I have a reputation for that at the Capitol. I'll continue to do that because I believe if I'm getting paid by the state of Colorado to do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. So questioning my work and wanting to be there in those meetings is one thing. It's just the timing. It's not right. And once again, rural Colorado's on the outs. I don't even know why they have to throw shade. This is how my people feel. I travel this district a lot, Jeff and Bill. I'm constantly in my district. And the sentiments that I portrayed in my statement are the sentiments of my people. They've got to deal with wolves. They've got to deal with the governor's husband attacking their way of life. They've got to see their communities dry up as we see water being pulled off agricultural land. We're seeing our economies through oil and gas dry up, which hurts these ranchers because they were getting royalties off of their property. So this has been a complete attack on rural Colorado, our heritage, our way of life. They want to change how we raise our kids. They want to tell us what we can and we can't do. And then on top of this is just one more thing. And I don't think that that's what they understand. And that's why I pray that the people of Colorado are starting to see the disconnect with the hardworking, blue-collar, salt-of-the-earth people, whether it's in Pueblo, West Colorado, or it's in Eads, Colorado. These people are out there, and they want true representation at the Capitol. And I believe every person that signed that letter is a true representative of rural Colorado, because just screaming and yelling that you're for rural Colorado is one thing, but being in that building and voting on rural issues and being in your district and talking to these kids at county fairs, that's what this is all about. And unfortunately, reply to, those individuals that called me out on that, maybe you should come visit rural Colorado and see what it's all about and talk to the people and actually hear the frustrations of my constituents. I don't know if that's going to change your mind, but at least you'll have a different perspective than the one from the urban area.
That's Ty Winter, Assistant Minority Leader, joining Jeff and Bill live. We're talking about the fact that Governor Polis called a special session, but didn't seem to check the calendar because Colorado State Fair is going on, and that means representatives from around the southern part of the state won't have the opportunity to connect with constituents. Now, Representative Winter, I want to know, just outline, did you reach out or did you ask any questions at all of the governor's office, and what did they say to you when you asked about, hey, how come we're doing this during the Colorado State Fair? What did the office tell you if you asked the question?
So I haven't asked the question. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me tell you why. We're not let in on very much of this. I mean, you figure, special session was called. We got a call the night before. I wasn't even given a time. I asked for a time. Never was got back to at the time frame because, a lot of us work for a living and do things. So our caucus is worried because they need to know how to schedule it in. They need to do the people's work, but they also have to fit that in on whatever else is going on. So, and we're not really allowed as part of the process. I mean, you guys know how this special session is going to go anyway. This is already pre-baked and cooked. We're going to show up, and what's going to happen is going to happen. And unfortunately, we're left out of the process a lot, and that's obvious by the way the state is run. You can tell that we're left out of the process a lot because the people in our caucus, they're business people. They're people that have went out and made $1 or $2 or been part of something that makes $1 or $2, so they have real-world experience. And, that's kind of how I feel about that. And, Bill, I just want to go back. When I answered Jeff's question, he asked about them blaming the big, beautiful bill for this. Yeah. I think the bill's huge, and I think we're still learning. You guys all know that the big, beautiful bill makes great press, and it makes great fundraising for both parties. So, I think we have to wait. I think we get in a hurry, and we have to wait to see what it's actually going to do. Some of this stuff in theory and in practice, but it's just crazy how convenient this just falls into place, that the Democrats run the state into the ground. They spend money where they shouldn't. They fund their pet projects over priorities. And then they turn around, and it's just convenient that this falls into their lap right here for them to say the world's on fire when they don't even know what's going to happen 100%. And we're still 2 years out of anything happening. So, unfortunately, the people of Colorado are having to be played in this political game again of let's try to get big news, let's try to get big press. And like I said earlier, I hope that they're seeing that, all these promises are being made, but the ground's shaky underneath them because there's no funding to get any of this done. So, I'm just hoping that we get to the point where this really starts to turn the corner because I love my state. My constituents love their state, and we need to save this state because this is a great state, and I'm not leaving. This is the Alamo for me.
Oh, I like that sentiment. That's Ty Winter, Assistant Minority Leader, joining Jeff and Bill live. We're talking about the special session and why Governor Polis's office didn't seem to check the calendar that one of the biggest events for the entire state is happening during the session. We're talking about the Colorado State Fair. And I'm hoping, Representative Winter, when you're down there, I would hope that one of the repetitive questions or statements you should ask or state, in my mind, I think Jeff's too, is that Governor Polis has the ability by executive order to change all of these budget things. He can change budgets. He can cancel programs. He has the ability from his office, rather than spending all the time with y'all debating and calling back to a special session. He could make these choices himself because Governor Owens did the similar thing in the early 2000s. And I really want you to push that and keep saying we don't have to be here. It's like the mantra in Kevin Smith's first movie, Clerks. I'm not even supposed to be here today. That's kind of the idea, that you're not even supposed to be there. And I know how important for politicians in the southern part of the state the Colorado State Fair is. Early on in young Billy's radio career, one of my first 2 years in broadcasting ever, I sat at a booth for the radio station during the Colorado State Fair, and conveniently, both years, the booth next to us was Representative Scott McGinnis. So I saw at the ground level how important it was, and he was there 8-9 hours a day, shaking the hands, talking to people, meeting the constituents. I had a one-on-one view of that type of ability for him to talk to people and for the constituents to have this opportunity to approach them as well. It really does bother me that they're pulling a lot of you out of your constituents and your constituent work, especially looking for a solution that Governor Polis, in my mind, if he had a spine, would take a hold of and do. I feel like personally, Representative Ty Winter, that he is passing the buck. He has the ability, he has the power, and he obviously knows what he wants to cut and what he wants to save, but he's passing it off to you guys so that he has a place to blame. So he has a place to point the finger. He doesn't want to take responsibility. That's how I feel it. And I'm hoping that you'll take some advice from the Jeff and Bill show, and when you're down there and you're going through this grind of listening to the Democrats and all this stuff that they have to save and spend more money on, that you'll remind them Governor Polis can solve this. We don't have to be here. We don't even have to be here today.
Yeah, you got it, sir. That's a guarantee. I'm sure myself and my caucus, we're going to do a whole lot of that, 110%. And I do feel like this has been the excuse. Like we were talking earlier, a special session makes bigger news than the governor just fixing the issue. And then, when you don't, out in the public, put your hands on the scales and say, okay, this is how we're going to fix it, and you're allowing the legislature to do it, and the bad thing about it is I think we're going to end up spending more money coming out of this special session than coming out of it than we did going in, trying not to spend money. I've just got an odd feeling about that's what's going to end up happening.
Well, you're dealing with Democrats. So, yeah, anytime they get together, the solution to everything is, gosh, if we just spent more money.
And it's just sad for the people of Colorado. But you know what, guys? I truly believe that we're in the fight for the good, and I truly believe that there's going to be some common sense things come, because I am in the district, and you're right. You're right, Bill, 110%. I think what people lose, and when they chat with their people, is this is the consent of the governed. We are representatives, and how in the heck do you know how to go to the Capitol and tell the story of your district, and when you need the needs of your district, when you're not pressing flesh, talking to people? And I talk to people of every age group. I talk to a lot of 4-H kids on the trail, because I want to hear what the younger generation's thinking, because when I was growing up, that's why I was used to say all these stale old politicians. And that's how we're going to keep ahead of this. And as we've seen, I think it was the Denver Post posted that voter registration for Republicans in the younger group, I'm pretty sure, is quite a bit higher than in past, because, I think we're finally becoming the party that's talking to these kids and giving them a voice. So that's important, too, because I can go to the Capitol with their perspective. So you're 100% correct. The state fair is huge for that. And that's why the legislative barbecue is so important, because whether you have normal individuals buying a ticket to get in there, or the Colorado cattlemen, or the independent cattle growers, those are the people that are basically put by their people to be there and represent them. And then these legislators don't hear those points of views. And then when we go up and we fight at the Capitol, they're thinking it's pure politics, when there's actually real people being affected behind this. So you're 100% correct. It's a shame that those people can't go talk. But if there's no concessions made, I would be surprised. I'm sure they're going to try to make some kind of concessions, because I know a lot of people in Pueblo are really upset. They feel like they've been put on the outs with this. A lot of, and I think it's unfortunate. So, no, you're 100% correct. And I appreciate you bringing that to light, because they're trying to spin this that, we just want to go watch horse shows and eat street corn and eat some barbecue and tap our toe. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with press and flesh, talking to people, trying to make the sausage. That way we can go up to the Capitol and say, hey, we're not speaking on behalf of ourselves. I'm speaking on behalf of the roughly 80,000 people I represent. And not only are they saying no, they're saying hell no.
That's Ty Winter. He's the assistant minority leader down at the Colorado State Capitol. And Ty, I want to point this out too, that it is meeting with people, it's hearing from them, but the second largest industry in the entire state of Colorado is the ag industry. And you've had this concerted effort, the meatless effort that came from Jared Polis, $3 million that the city of Denver was trying to spend in the midst of a budget crisis, by the way, to try to convince you to eat less meat. You have just a handful of times each year, whether it's the National Western Stock Show or the Colorado State Fair, that honors and celebrates the second largest revenue driver and industry to the entire state of Colorado. I'm sorry, but these Democrats at the state capitol can take the week to go listen to the rural community, listen to the ag community, because if it wasn't for them, the tax dollars coming in to fund their stupid little lib projects would never even exist. So take the week, go down to the Colorado State Fair, listen to the people that are paying your bills. Bottom line, this gets me fired up. I'm sorry, Ty.
And I appreciate. No, you're right. And it was a slap in the face to National Western Stock Show, and it's a slap in the face to the Colorado State Fair, and it just shows where we rank and what's happening with that. And to go back what you said, Jeff, you're 100% correct. This is the largest industry, and it's not just a large industry. It's how you eat. It's how you get clothes on your back. It's how energy is produced. And it just don't make any sense to me, because the disdain for the energy sector, the disdain for the agriculture sector, which like you said, pays all the bills. And what are we going to do when there's no money to pay the bills? And these people work hard. They're there to show you their livestock. They're there to show you the innovations they're using for farming. They're there for their kids to show you how hard they work and the work ethic they had, because through 4-H and FFA, those are your true future leaders. I mean, the graduation rate of those kids is astronomical. Most of them get into good jobs. I've lived in a small community my whole life, and any kid that's really in 4-H or FFA usually excels. And I know you guys know the same. So, I mean, this is a chance to meet the true future leaders of this country that want to pull themselves up by their bootstraps because that's how their parents raised them to do it. And they want to carry freedom and liberty forward because they know that's the most productive part of society there is, all while worshiping their God. And that's not being cliche or saying those things for political talking points. That's how these people live their lives down here, and we're proud of it. So all those things were going to be on display, and they still will be. I 110% support those people. I want them to know that we're fighting for them. And even though we can't be there for some of the things, we'll be there when we can, and that we're always in their corner. And we will never give up on rural Colorado and small town Colorado. Like I said, from Pueblo to Springfield, from Trinidad to Eads, I'm going to protect this district to the best of my ability. And we're there with him, and we have their back. And we'll be there in spirit if we can't be there in person.
He's doing a great job representing not only his district, but rural Colorado and all of us that make up this state. Representative Ty Winner. You can follow him on X at Rep Ty Winner, Rep Ty Winner, for all the latest on this. Representative, Assistant Minority Leader, thank you for your time this morning.
Yes, thank you.
No, thank you all. Thank you. God bless House District 47. God bless Colorado, but most importantly, God bless the United States of America. Later, fellas.
Thank you, sir. All right, speaking of good people, we all know that our food comes from the farm. It comes from the ranchers. It doesn't come from a grocery store. That's one part of the process, but it really comes from those hardworking people. Now, a wonderful restaurant that then sources that food and makes it something you can eat and enjoy. My friends over at Black Eyed Pea of Colorado, locally owned and operated by Steve and Michelle. I love this restaurant. Whole family does. It's one of those rare restaurants that all 3 generations will find something to enjoy. My parents, my wife and I, and then our kids. 8 locations. There's sure to be one near you. It's Colorado Cookout and Barbecue Time at the Black Eyed Pea. Their August menu is featuring backyard combos, the St. Louis rib combo, or the barbecue 2-meat combo. They have barbecue pulled pork, barbecue chicken breast, and barbecue smoked sausage. They also have these wonderful sandwiches, grilled barbecue Polish sausage topped with grilled onions, or you can try their tender, slow-cooked barbecue pulled pork sandwich topped with cold slaw. Both are served on a toasted brioche bun. Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm ready. They do catering, dinner parties, rehearsal dinners, wedding receptions, or company events. Make it a success with Black Eyed Pea Catering. And, of course, Black Eyed Pea gift cards are always great for your special someone, birthday favors, or holiday presents, or just to say thank you to someone. They have you covered. I love everything about this restaurant. I know you will too. Support local, keep it in Colorado, and visit the Black Eyed Pea near you. All right, we'll continue and would love to hear from you. Is this much ado about nothing? Some people texting in going, guys, we got big issues to address down at the state capitol, like the Democrats said. We've got this budget. They believe that Republicans are responsible for the budget shortfall. We need to get to work. And we're not canceling the state fair, but lawmakers, you got to be in office. We got to work. Or did they schedule this thing at the wrong time? I mean, they could do this at any time. You could go September, October, whatever. In fact, you don't even have to do it. This could be part of the normal budget process that's going to begin in January, or Jared Polis could just walk in and make cuts within his own divisions. So to take lawmakers away from spending time with the people that provide the food that we eat and drive the second largest industry in the entire state is a shame and offensive. What do you think? Give us a call, 303-696-1971, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115, 720-819-5115. We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Wake up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, August 27th, join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 1595 South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill Show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, August 27th at IHOP.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. We're talking Jared Polis calling a special session right in the middle of the Colorado State Fair, which a lot of us go down there to enjoy the festivities, to ride the rides and eat the good food, but it's a lot more than that. I've been a part of some efforts to go down there and buy some of the livestock. There's some great groups of business folks here in Denver that will travel all the way down there, and then they bid up and drive up the bidding on these kids who are selling goats and sheep and cows and stuff like that. And then, they'll spend a lot of money. Hundreds of thousands of dollars so that these kids can go to college and be able to make some money off of their livestock. So you have this great element of young kids and families selling their livestock, learning the trade of being in the ag business. You have all the experts and representatives from the ag industry, which I just want to remind people, agriculture in Colorado is the second largest business driver. It is bigger than everything else next to only tourism. Tourism is number one for the state of Colorado.
Jeff, I got to interrupt just for a second. This is a perfect encapsulation of the differences on this show. Okay, listeners to the Jeff and Bill Show. Jeff's there talking about the importance of the agriculture industry and these kids that have spent time on family farms, raising their sheep and their goats, and they finally bring them to market, and they make money, and he's building them up, and he's talking about that going down at the Colorado State Fair, and I'm thinking, they have some pretty good concerts, and you tried the fair food.
Funnel cakes!
Yes.
Yeah, concerts as well.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to someone on the text messages. I am old enough to have seen Hootie and the Blowfish be the headliner at the Colorado State Fair. I am that stinking old. Yeah. And I love the fair food and just love the atmosphere. The Colorado State Fair, I think, is absolutely fantastic. And it is. There are families where this is their summer vacation before going back to school, that they're not able to put the money together to, leave out of state or even to go to the really expensive places in the mountains at times. They can't afford those hotel prices, but they book those hotels in Pueblo, and the family comes from places like Eaton and Eads and Brush and Holly, and they come into town because they're going to the big city, which is Pueblo. They get to stay in Pueblo. They're going to be able to try various forms of fast food when they're not at the state fair. And then the kids get to run around, and it is an adventure. There are families that this is their big summer vacation. And it's important for the lawmakers to be down there, as I talked about. Scott McGinnis was sitting right next to me for 2 years in a different booth, but it was his booth right next to where I was sitting in the radio station booth. And so I got a chance to chat with him. We were friends, but I got to see the individual interactions. And it wasn't, he was great working with people, but it was the people getting the chance to see him. Because these, again, you're talking about smaller town, rural people. They don't actually be able to get to see these lawmakers as often. There may be a town hall once every few months, etc. But here is a ready-made stop to go over and shake the hand and make that one-on-one connection with your representative or your senator. And you can tell them all the good things they're doing. You can tell them the things that you think they're suck on, and you can make that type of connection.
Jared can put on his little goofy cowboy hat and walk around.
I know.
And I actually think that's better for our lawmakers.
Yes, it is.
To spend time out there with people. But listen to this. Here's some of the economic benefits of the Colorado State Fair. This comes from the Colorado State Fair themselves. Okay? The fair itself, direct spending that takes place.
Yeah.
$30.3 million. Wow. Non-fair, $8.4 million. Total combined, $38.8 million.
Jeez.
All right, you ready for tax revenue?
Okay, yeah.
This was just in 2021.
Okay.
$1.5 million to the city of Pueblo, about $345,000 to Pueblo County, $2.491 million to the state of Colorado, for a combined total tax revenue generation in 1 year of $4.3 million.
Wow.
So it's a big deal.
Okay.
For the state and the county and the city.
We're going to solve this problem, you and I, Jeff, here on the Jeff and Bill Show. Okay, it's about 7:40 in the morning on a Friday. Our listeners are familiar that we are about solutions. Okay, I'm not saying they're good solutions.
Sometimes.
I'm just saying they're solutions. Yes.
Right,
just saying solutions. I got a solution here. This is it. We are going to solve this problem right now. We are going to solve the problem of taking the lawmakers away from the Colorado State Fair and solve the problem of the special session and make sure these lawmakers are efficient with their time all at once. Okay? This is the Jeff and Bill solution. Well, at least Bill's solution. I don't know if Jeff's going to jump in on me, so I'm not going to draw you into my weirdness, my friend. Okay, this is what we do. We go down and we rent one of those ginormous hospitality tents. Okay, and that's where all lawmakers have to hold the special session on the grounds of the Colorado State Fair. And we allow a gallery on one side so you can come and watch them make the sausage as they're going. There will be rules based on decorum and behavior, both for the lawmakers and for the gallery. But advertise it as seeing them down there on the special session. Now, again, I'm putting them outside in a hospitality tent because I don't want them to have air conditioning. I want them to be motivated to get this thing done. And the longer you have to sit outside in the August heat in one of those tents at the Colorado State Fair, the more that you're getting sweaty and moist in uncomfortable places, the more you're going to be motivated to stop this thing and let's get all this stuff wrapped up. Now, also, you guys, you got to buy, and you're going down there, you're taking out hotel rooms, you're going out to the restaurants, and you have to see the average workaday people that your laws impact, not only walking in and out of that state fair, but also every chance you step out of your hotel room until that special session is over. You are confronted by the masses there, and they are going to be able to tell you exactly what they think of you. So that's what we do. You want to make this special session efficient, but you also want to give them the opportunity to touch the flesh and interact with the constituents.
Funnel cakes?
Yes, and funnel cakes. We could have a funnel cake eating contest. I will do all sorts of things with them on the side. Yeah, absolutely. We can give them free funnel cakes. We have a lunch funnel cake. You can do whatever we want to do. I'm all in.
And they're full of sugar.
Yes, we can have them vote on their best fair food. That's fine. But the motivation to put them in that hospitality tent in the August heat at the Colorado State Fair, take them out of the comfort and convenience of what they may have here, and extra tax revenue and interaction with the voters in Pueblo. Let's do this.
Hey,
let's make this work.
Better idea.
Yeah,
I mean no, that's great. That's a great idea. I'm going to take it to a little bit level.
Please. You got that.
I don't know if you saw this recently, but there was a scandal down at the Colorado State Capitol.
Ooh, what is this?
Because some of the Republicans were texting each other about some of the clothing that other lawmakers were wearing.
Ooh,
kind of mocking it. And
now
stuff
you have
like that.
my attention,
okay? Right? And some other news agencies. Were reporting breathlessly on the scandal.
Oh my gosh!
It wasn't publicly that they were writing little nasty things, but it was on a Signal chat and all this stuff.
You have me with bated breath because again, you're talking to the guy that broke so many dress code rules in high school that they made up new rules about me. So I want to know what they were doing.
So they took a picture of one of the lawmakers and they're like, she's not dressing appropriately. That type of thing. And making some inappropriate remarks. Okay. But we can solve this, Bill, with your idea.
Yes.
We just put them on the Ferris wheel together.
Oh, my God, yes.
Like just, put some time. You're just going to go around.
Oh, my God, that is
and
fantastic.
You guys can talk this out. And the little drama that's taking place down at the state capitol.
Oh, my God. I love this because, and what it has to be one Republican, one Democrat. Unfortunately, the problem is the Republicans are going to have to go like 17 times. The Democrats are going to go once. That's the problem. That's the problem we're going to have.
Bill, this is brilliant. I think you have solved so many problems that we're facing.
Okay.
The division, the lack of work that's taking place down there, all the special. We get them away from the special interest groups. They're just with people unless the funnel cake lobby is going to be pushing for, spending on their industry. And pork and that type of thing.
And again, here's the other thing we're going to do down there. I love the idea. Now we do the Ferris wheel idea, and we'll call it their something about maybe like downtime or their like breakout session, something like that. And that's what it is. Their breakout session there, and then you and I together, we can knock out. We're $1 billion according to the Democrats. We're going to be $1 billion hole, and that's why we're doing the special session. I think we could raise minimum $250 million minimum down at the Colorado State Fair, doing one thing. Dunk tank. You put a politician in a dunk tank down there and charge him money? Dude, we could do $25 a ball, and we are going to make money. We could knock $250 million, $300 million off of this budget deficit by simply doing a dunk tank down there. Yes. Watch the politicians do their thing. They get to ride the Ferris wheel and do the dunk tank.
So funny.
Yeah, we could make so much money. We could knock this. We are about solutions. Look at that. And it's all based on, the average citizen, contributing money. We got $250 million. I think we could make that. Yeah, down there at the State Fair. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's in $1 a ball.
Next level thinking.
Thank you. I have my moments, but that's the only one I'm allowed today.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, join the conversation. Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. This year's Colorado State Fair won't have many lawmakers because they're going to be up here at a special session. Democrats saying, we need to get to work. We face serious crisis. Republicans pointing out the governor could do this without calling a special session. And there's plenty of other weeks to do this. Why are you interrupting one of the most important weeks all year for the ag community? Because you're out of touch. Give us a call. Would love to hear from you. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
Next idea, Jeff, politician face painting. But we pay to paint their faces. Again, we got a lot of these. This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS. Very heavy, very aggressive. You can hear it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play the whole thing. Oh, here it comes. Bum, 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 bum. So good. Let's see if we can get the lyric here. We have to talk about the importance of this song. Oh, so good. Politically charged song.
Yeah, I'm guessing from the title, killing in the name of.
Politically charged song, but that's the first single that Rage Against the Machine ever drops.
First?
The very first, yes.
Wow.
So so the idea is, think about this, that again, politically charged song, very aggressive, but when that band was coming of age, that they decided the way we're going to announce ourselves is this. They, given their political affiliations and what they were doing with music at the time, it would have been much more advisable inside of the industry to wander into that space gently. And those guys said, nah, we're kicking the door down and then we're taking names. And I've always been fascinated by that if you go through, anybody's familiar with the Rage Against the Machine catalog, and if you would say, what is the lead single I would pick? I'm hard-pressed to say that many of us would say, well, obviously, it's got to be Killing in the Name, obviously. But for what they were doing at the time, that's what they picked. I'm always fascinated by that. I'm sorry, I just wanted to do that. And side note. Oh, also side note, Stephen Tubbs filling in for our friend John Caldera tomorrow morning. Yeah, 7 to 9. Stephen back in the seat of power.
Dude, this guy, when he's not kicking down doors and tackling drug dealers and cartels, filling in here at 710 KNUS.
Yeah. Can't
What a
wait to see what he's
machine.
doing. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. This will be fun.
Glad to have you, Stefan.
Yep.
Thank you so much, my friend. All right, text messages coming in, 0459. The idea of having the legislators actually do a special session at the state fair is not as far-fetched as it sounds.
Hey, I'm not as
I
crazy
think
as I
Polis
am.
can call for a special session wherever he wants. And if he was smart, he would actually take you guys up on this idea, give you guys credit, and just make it happen. It's one of those things where it's much better to lean into and give credit.
That would be cool.
0459, great text message.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, if he could do that, think about that. Think about the win this would be.
Yes.
Hey, I'm not taking you guys away. I'm taking you all down there.
Yeah, it's like
We're
a Colorado
gonna
field trip.
figure this out.
Field trip.
You're going to benefit the ag community. I'm putting you Republicans and Democrats on Ferris wheels together.
Yes.
And yes, I don't have to run for re-election,
Nope.
so you can dunk tank me
Yes.
as much as you want. All proceeds going to address our budget issue.
Yeah.
Bill, you solved the world's problems. Bill Thorpe in 2026, everybody.
All right, good night, everybody. I'm out of here. I mean, I think it'd be wonderful. And what would think of the visuals of saying we're going to hold a special session, but we're going to do it during the state fair, at the state fair. There would be something there. It would be newsworthy. It would mean something people would want to stop by and see. And plus, I love the idea of all the lawmakers having to mill about at the state fair and having to interact with everybody. And they're going to have a special catered lunch. They're going to have to go stand in line to get the fair food. And I want to see what, if I was down there as a lawmaker, I'd be looking for the carnival rides. I'd be looking for constituents and going on rides with them. How cool would it be? Because, we had Representative Ty Winter here. How neat would it be if you're in his district that you get to go ride the Ferris wheel with Ty Winter, or you get to do the little spinny thing that goes up and down with Ty Winter, and you're like, and you got, it's golden. It'd be so easy. It'd be so nice.
I love the idea of just pumping them full of sugar from funnel cakes and alcohol and just turning them loose.
I love that idea.
Just see what happens.
That's a great idea.
You may even get a little scandal here.
Oh,
and there.
yeah, absolutely.
One lawmaker holding the hand of another lawmaker as they walk around.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
What is going on, Bill?
This would be great.
We're sending this to Jared Polis. Take us up, Gov. We don't need to take the credit for it. You can take all the credit for it, but we'd love to join you down there. Hey, if this happens, road trip.
Oh yeah, road trip. We'll broadcast live. We'll broadcast live from the fair. We will be there with you. In fact, if they do it and they even set up the dunk tank, you and I are going to be right in line. We'll be first in line very first morning. Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
One.
There's a lot of Antifa that might show up for that.
Hey, as long as they pay for the balls, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I don't want any of their funny stuff, but they want to pay to throw the balls. Go right ahead. I'll take your money. It's green. It says USA on it. Please give me more. Give me more.
I see Rich Wyatt now making his way down there right now.
Only if I'm in the dunk tank. then
the
Richard
two of
popped down to
you
several hundred.
got into it so good at the IHOP that one time.
Oh, it was so good. But
the Republicans can take it out on each other with all the division that's
taking place. It'd be so good.
We're solving the world's problems.
And we could knock at least a quarter of the debt off.
You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.